Vomiting Rainbows, episode 36. On this one, we talk about why not to buy pot from your friend who's acting weird, how to get out of prison, and why not to order pizza when you get out of prison.
That's right.
And then we also talk about why R. Kelly is probably the best boyfriend out there. This is Vomiting Rainbows, episode number 36. It's a darker news podcast. It's also the first podcast where I've had dueling hosts.
Mm-hmm.
A menage a trois.
A menage a trois. So recently, Joe, who is now joining us on the podcast, took over for Mike when he was busy and preoccupied.
An honored fill-in. Big shoes.
The premise of the podcast is it's a dark news podcast where I tell my buddies Joe and Mike 3 dark stories, which they know nothing about, and they get to chew them up, digest them, and spit them back out. So have you guys ever heard of Bucks County or know what's going on in Bucks County?
Isn't that Dylan's dad's restaurant in Peninsula?
Yeah, it's Bucks. And, no, this is not Bucks, but Dylan is on the menu, and so is Rowan.
Oh, interesting.
Which is pretty entertaining. So there are these 2 cousins that grew up on a 90-acre farm in Salisbury Township in Pennsylvania, like right outside of Philadelphia. This one guy called Cosmo DiNardo and his other cousin, Sean Kratz. His parents are in the concrete and manufacturing business, so they make all the supplies, and his mom has a trucking company to ship back and forth to building yards and things of that nature. He decided to go a little bit different direction. He decided to become a small-time thief and pot seller.
Nice.
That's honorable. I mean, come on, man.
I mean, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's breaking ground in Pennsylvania. I mean, in another 50 years, it'll be legal there for recreation.
Cutting edge industry in 50 years in Pennsylvania.
Isn't pretty much construction notoriously linked to the mob?
Yeah, I don't know.
Which
I wouldn't
is like
say
drugs.
That. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Depends how much you believe The Sopranos.
Exactly. Well, I get everything off of HBO.
Yeah.
So these 2 entrepreneurs went a little awry. They have a good friend who they grew up with, Patrick. Patrick came to buy $8,000 worth of pot from DiNardo. When he arrived, he only had $800.
That zero, dude. That makes a big difference.
Yeah, well,
math isn't always the top priority, huh?
Not the top priority. He could have been stoned, who knows? But so he decided to tell him that he had a shotgun that he could sell him for $800 because he also
wait. So the guy comes to buy weed. He's like, oh, I need $8,000 of weed, and the guy's like, no problem, dude. He shows up. He's like, here, man. And the guy's like, dude, this is only $800. I can't sell you the weed, but I got a shotgun.
This is a perfect example of this new store you were talking about, where you can go in and buy weed, a shotgun, and some alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. We just finished another podcast called Bites, Bars, and Bands.
Cross-pollination.
Yeah.
Where can you listen to that?
We're going all across the map. But yeah, so anyway, he decided that he was going to ask him if he wanted to buy this gun because he was extremely pissed off that he didn't have the money for the weed. So he got him out to the 90-acre property, and which time he showed him the gun and then shot him with it.
Of course he did.
Then he got a backhoe, because construction, just happened to have one on the property, dug a 12-foot hole and threw him in it.
Doug, what part of this is less depressing than the other stories?
Oh, it gets better, though.
Okay,
well, this is my thing, is to me, 90 acres, that's a lot of space, all right?
Right.
You shoot a dude, you bury him, people come looking for him. I mean, just bury his car, too, and be like, yeah, man, he left.
There you go.
Yeah.
He came here, he bought some weed, and then
you
left.
have a backhoe. I mean, burying the car is out of the way if you're doing the Sopranos, shovel thing, but with a backhoe, you could bury his house if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, he went down 12 feet.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They brought... Anyway, so...
How'd this guy get caught?
We'll talk about that. So then next, he enlisted his buddy Sean, which is also his cousin, and he decided that they had 2 other friends, Rob Sturgis, and somehow this other guy came along with them too. And so 3 guys came to the property, and they decided they were going to get the money that they were owed because it was a buddy of theirs. So they were going to get the rest of that drug money that they were owed. That guy, they all came out, and of course they had none of the money. So he just decided to shoot them all.
So this guy kills 4 people. I like his like hard-handed game. Like he's like, dude, you don't pay me money, you die.
Right.
But in a small town, you're going to kill off all your business. Like there's only so many stoners in a small town. If you shoot all of them, you're never going to get your money. You know what I mean?
It was like,
but he could charge more, maybe. Supply and demand.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and apparently he had all the supply, and these guys were all the demand.
Right.
And they all were going to buy from him.
Right.
And then at some point or another, they didn't have the money. So he just lured them to this property. The other thing that he did that was kind of interesting and disturbing at the same time is, so he shot 2 of the guys, and then the other one took off running, and he ran out of bullets. So he took the backhoe.
No, man.
And
chased him
ran
down?
him over.
Oh my God.
Wait a minute. How do you... Okay, hold on. How fast does a backhoe go? Those don't go fast.
This is where my big question mark was in that whole
backhoe?
scenario.
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so he ran him over.
Can I Google this?
Yeah.
You can't outrun a backhoe?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess some of them go pretty fast.
How do you spell backhoe?
Backhoe.
H-O-E.
Yeah,
Wow.
like a backhoe.
French O-U-G-H.
Welcome to the Learn How to Spell podcast.
Doug, this is I don't know. You know, anytime I hear about these guys in small towns that kill somebody, like I can't imagine what that would feel like, right?
Right.
To take someone's life, and the only thing I can think of is that, like for a dude like this, right? He's got to feel like so much power, and it's got to be like all of a sudden he gets away with it once, and that's what they always do. Then they think they can just start killing all these other people, and that's when they get caught. There's no discipline in these guys,
But it was
these wacky drug dealers.
I forgot to say, it was 2 days later that he
But that's what I mean.
There
Like,
was
he's
not
like,
even a time frame.
But that's what I'm talking about. He just kills this one guy and buries him. He's like, oh, look, I got away with it. And now he's like that becomes how he resolves his problems now in his drug dealing paradigm.
It's just a simple thing almost. Like you have these sociopaths who are killing people and planning things out, and this is basically just a businessman who's like looking at a specific cause and effect.
But like the switch clicked on, right? Like he
it.
probably was like, I'll never do that. But as soon as he did, he's like, oh well, now I've done this. Now I can continue to do this. If I was ever going to kill somebody, right? Like I would have to pre-think. Like right now, I'd have to sit there and think like, these are the reasons why I would kill someone. Someone like attacked my wife. Someone attacked my children. Ripped out their eyeballs. Like there would have to be very specific things, right? And then at that point, it would be like, how am I going to do this? And then that would be it. It's not going to be like, oh, I just killed that guy. Well, geez, now that other guy's giving me a hard time. I'll go kill him too. And you know, like.
Do you think he had the sense of I'm all in at this point? Like, did he have the sense after killing one that like, all right, there's nothing left to lose, or was he ever viewing it that way?
But that's kind of what I was saying before. Like, I think once these guys kill somebody, they get like this complex, or like a god complex, or like
they can
the
do
feeling or the power, or the control that it must give them. They must just think they can do anything.
And that would explain the backhoe.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
which can go 72 miles an hour, by the way.
Oh no!
Which
I mean, that's the world record, but within reason. That means you're off the shelf.
Well,
if the world record's 72, they can at least go 20, and that's probably faster than you can run.
The Caterpillar 420D backhoe. That one can go 20.4 miles.
Yeah, so
that's gonna take you out.
You could run away for a little bit, but eventually that dude's gonna catch you.
Now, if you ever watch like a dog chasing a rabbit or something, you would think you'd be able to like shimmy around a tractor.
Yeah,
like you'd be able to
instead of trying to outrun, he should have tried to circle.
I think he was making the wrong move and like doing a distance versus like a quick side to side thing.
But then there's also that other dude there. So now like that guy could hold him down and like.
Wait, did I miss the other dude? Was I not listening?
Oh, the cousin was there.
His cousin was there.
So it throws a lot of information in a really rapid pace.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find myself doing like the Homeland, like the string thing on the wall. I'm like,
I don't know what's
often
happening
he has
here.
to take notes.
Yeah,
but yeah, there it does get a little.
This is like the Russian thing. There was another person in the room. There's another person in the room.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, after that, the 3 victims then were placed in an oil tank that had been converted into a cooker. As DiNardo called it, our pig roaster.
Can we call him Cosmo?
yeah.
Yeah, Cosmo.
All right.
Yeah, so Cosmo put him in the pig roaster. Then
That sounds better.
Lit him on fire, and then after that, he decided to bury it deep underground, so further than the 12-foot.
Why would you burn it and then bury it? Like, why'd you create that stink and that smoke and that?
Yeah, why
You
not
didn't
just
need
throw
to.
it?
Why not just
deep
bury
under-
him?
Yeah. Anyway, so one of the things that
This guy just had too much time on his hands.
He's a little
He's like,
crazy.
I'm going to burn him, then I'm going to bury him. First I buried him, now I'm going to burn him and bury him.
Yeah.
and then the other thing is, so we talked about earlier, how did they get caught? Because, they've got this 90 acres. They're not, their friends on Facebook is the first way that they kind of connected them. But the best is that Cosmo decided to sell one of the guy's Nissans for $500 to this guy. And they found that guy's, the Nissan ad from Cosmo.
Oh, dude.
So they also found one of the other guy's cars in this place called Peddler's Village, which is the nearest thing. It's a mile and a half out from the property, the 90 acres, and it's the only thing near it.
See, this is back to the playing God thing.
Right.
So, like, he clearly at that point was just like, I'm this badass. I can do anything.
Yeah.
Because he obviously's probably got some dough. He's dealing. He's got all the, he killed some of his demand, but he's still probably doing fine. He doesn't have to sell those cars.
Yeah, you should bury those cars.
Yeah, bury the cars.
Bury
and
the
burn
cars.
them. And then bury
the
them.
cars.
Yeah, burn them first. So they came to Cosmo's house. They arrested him on a weapons charge. Guess what the weapons charge was? And it's an unrelated weapons charge to any of this.
Nunchucks.
No. No, he had a charge for owning a gun with a mental illness.
Wow.
So there's gives you a little bit of background on Cosmo. They questioned Kratz and Cosmo. They found all the weapons that were used to kill the guys. So they said that they were innocent. And so what they decided to do is they started linking them through all their phone records. And once the evidence started to pile up, Cosmo spilled all the beans before Kratz did and confessed to the murders. He also decided in his infinite wisdom to confess to additional murders.
Jesus.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so he apparently there's a missing persons case in Philadelphia, and he said he was involved in that as well.
See, that's the other thing, too. Like, if you think you have to take somebody out, like, nowadays, you got to make sure, like, you got to check their Facebook profile. Otherwise, you're going to call. You got to find that guy has, like, 3 friends. And then you got to just kill, like, those 3 friends.
Or 4.
The rabbit hole. The serial killer rabbit hole.
Well, and the other thing, speaking of Facebook, he apparently had been in an ATV accident relatively recently, and his friends said that his mood changed from the ATV accident, in which he started posting lots of selfies with guns and hitting on all of his female friends, so much so that they all blocked him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, no, that doesn't always work out.
Yeah. So they've apparently confessed. Eventually, they both now confessed to the murders and kind of see where it goes from here. But that's kind of the end of that lovely story.
That's a good start, Doug. That's a good one, man.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a good start.
Now, why don't we just jump from there and talk about how we should properly use a drone? Because I think that's what we really want to know from this podcast. Jim Causey, a tree trimmer serving life in Southern California, decided to use an illegal cell phone to get his friend to fly a drone over the prison and get him a pair of wire cutters to escape from the prison.
I dig this story.
That's pretty smart.
This isn't like I thought, like, did something horrible happen with these wire cutters? Did they cut some guy's, like, face off with it? Or, like,
As it dropped down from the sky, it took out a head.
And he was trying to escape a maximum security prison, which, by the way, he did.
Which also doesn't sound very maximum when a drone can fly in that effortlessly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, South Carolina. So.
What kind of wire cutters, man? I mean, like, just like normal wire cutters or like some kind of industrial wire cutter?
Scissors?
It's unclear.
They broke out Alcatraz with spoons, dude.
Yeah.
So one of the key things that you have to wonder is, why was he in a maximum security prison?
Right.
This is the real story. This is why Doug really wants to talk about this.
For flying his drone away from the allotted space.
Because this isn't the first time he escaped from prison.
Oh, man.
He had actually, he and another inmate, a convicted killer, Jimmy Brewer, escaped from a South Carolina prison in 2005.
Doug, why are people so captivated with prison escapes?
I think
It's like that Green Mile, like everyone, escape from Alcatraz.
I mean, you're accomplishing the impossible.
Yeah.
That's
in
what it
some
is,
sense.
right?
It's pretty amazing.
Even if these guys are criminals and they should be locked up, it's like there's something I find myself like rooting for the guy. Like, dude, he escaped, he got away.
And every time it's Morgan Freeman like narrating how he got away
Right,
in my head.
exactly.
Every time I read a story, he pulled himself through 2 miles of I mean, that was a really bad Morgan Freeman, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but why is that? Like, what is it about the escape from prison that no matter what the person does, like society kind of roots for the guy?
It's the underdog winning the championship.
Yeah, I mean, just
they're
think
overcoming
of all
adversity.
the movies, like every single one of them. It's all about escaping. Like even like El Chapo, like him just walking down those steps and going out of prison. Sean, like who was it? The actor Sean. Whoever who met
Sean
with him.
Penn?
Yeah, Penn met with him.
Yeah.
Just because he was so enamored with his story. But so in 2005, what he did is he hid in a trash truck. He did that whole Alcatraz fake heads thing in his cell. That gave him 2 extra hours before they even realized that he and the other inmate were gone. Prison officials said that they blamed budget cuts for why the trash area was unguarded.
Oh, man.
2 days later, they found him in a hotel room where the police delivery drivers said that they recognized one of the men while they were delivering the food, immediately contacted police. So the other friend who helped him out previously got charged with accessory and then decided to help him away again.
Now, this guy who helped him, was this a dude, like, was this a prison guard or was this a fellow prisoner? Because a lot of times I think that's how they get out. They have, like, someone on the inside kind of
Yeah, this was a woman, and it didn't say in what capacity.
Okay.
It does seem like most of the time they get caught, too, right?
Yeah.
Which is surprising almost. Like, you would think, I mean, I guess if you have no money and no clothes and maybe not a lot of connections.
They never think that part out.
Yeah. But even still, can you just get a boat? And I mean, I guess it's a matter of fuel and vehicle, and that's it. If you can figure out the fuel and vehicle components, you can probably eventually get away, right?
It would seem that way.
Like Northern
but
California, the Lost Coast. Like if I can get right now, if this was a prison and I had to walk out front and get a car, I mean, if I could figure that out, right? I could get 6 hours from here, I don't think you'd ever find me. Once you're in the Lost Coast.
But they're always finding people like in Mexico, all around. Like authorities are always finding these people. And it's usually their fault because they're saying something like, I did this.
Right. It's the ego. It's the human ego.
I think you roll into the small town like, what brings you down? I just escaped from prison. I mean, I'm just looking for a job.
Yeah. Right. That's your pickup line. So I escaped from prison 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I mean, there was that one guy who murdered his family and then moved out to like Colorado, started a new life, and had been on the run for like 28 years. And they found him with his new family, and they had no idea who he was. And he was like one of the most like sought after people.
That's got to be an awkward conversation, man. Like, you know, your kid's like graduation party and like cops knock on the door. You're like, oh, geez.
Oh, man, I knew this might come back to haunt me.
What was that? The Joey, what was that movie with Nature of Violence or Violence of, where he owns like a small town, little like deli, and then he finds out that he was like a mob hitman.
Oh, yeah.
It's a history of violence.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of those that are out there. So, yeah, I could definitely see how escaping may work for some people as long as you have the ability to keep your mouth shut, not share it.
Right.
And definitely don't share any of your plans with your cohort in crime.
With anyone. I mean, you know, like that's the thing, too, right? Like if you escape from prison, they're going to look for your, you know, going back to your old neighborhood, your old crew, your connection, your family. Like when you get out of prison, you basically have to say, you know, I'm not going to contact anyone I know. You're starting completely over for
maybe
your
learn another language in prison.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, totally.
There's an
go somewhere else.
Also, at some point, if he breaks out again, if you get 3, like he's won.
Yeah.
I don't think the government should be able to, after 3, if he gets back in and breaks out again.
I like that rule.
Yeah, right? You just, all right, fine. He got us. He got us.
Well, what was that one guy who they had tried to execute him like so many times?
Right.
And now he's like, appealed it to the state Supreme Court. He's like, you've tried this number of times. You failed every time.
Jeez.
And
is that true?
Yeah.
That's insane if you have multiple last meals.
How is there not a movie made about that? It's unbelievable.
Well,
Can we do a
Yeah,
podcast
Unbreakables
on
is
that?
like Bruce Willis?
We can
Is it like
definitely
a S-Town thing?
I mean, we can definitely do another episode on that one alone. And just like
The whole movie is Bruce Willis
Yeah, exactly.
in a chair, just like balling through it, man.
Right.
Like not going down.
yeah. So
An hour and a half of Bruce Willis just grinning it.
So you want to know why this guy was in prison?
No. I like how the story is right now. I mean, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bad. I mean, it is bad, but he got life in prison for this, and he had previously hired a high-priced attorney to defend him on some other charges, and decided during a coke binge, he and a friend decided to rob the attorney and family at gunpoint. Even though they were really wealthy, they convinced him to leave with a flip phone and $40.
Huh.
Dude, yeah.
And that high-priced attorney obviously knew how to get him life because
Yeah.
he got life for a robbery.
$40 in a flip phone.
yeah.
And he got life for that.
Huh.
Yeah, so that's why he keeps trying to escape.
Interesting.
So that's an exciting, lovely story. And then I figured we'd end it on something that's just, since we have Joe here and we always are talking, but we just finished talking about music, we should talk about the new hits from R. Kelly.
Oh,
I don't know if you've heard of this.
I have heard of this. I haven't read the art. I've heard about this from 3 different people, and so I really don't know the true article. So this will be good.
Okay, so some of his hits are known, such as like marrying his manager's 15-year-old daughter in 1994, having sex in 1996 with a 15-year-old, and in 2001, apparently having sex with a minor on tape. But his new hit is apparently starting a sex cult with 6 different women.
Now, is that illegal? I'm just wondering, like as far as the
Are harems against the law?
Like
Well-
if it's all consensual, is that like like if this was Guns N' Roses back in the day, like that was probably just called their tour bus.
Yeah,
Right,
that was
exactly.
Nikki Sixx for 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
So they're one couple and said that they brought their 19-year-old daughter for a chance at stardom. And you know this, Joe. You know, they got up there, brought him backstage to meet R. Kelly.
Let's
And then-
define what part of that I know. All right, that's not a blanket phrase. Though.
I feel like,
Yeah.
you know, dealing
I know
with,
that
like,
people come to shows. Yes,
Right. Okay, so that they want to get a chance at stardom, and they get very excited about meeting a band and think that band can help launch them into stardom. And R. Kelly, after spending 2 hours with her, said that he'd be happy to help. He moved her into an apartment, and then they said they immediately lost contact with their 19-year-old daughter. They said it was a desperate struggle to try and get in touch with her over 2 years. Apparently, R. Kelly controls every aspect of her life, when she can come, when she can go. They can't reach her on any social media because apparently he controls that as well, and also her phone. And one person who had been with R. Kelly before said he controls it all the way to how much she can eat. So, I mean, sounds like a pretty good lifestyle.
I'm confused here. So this is one girl? I thought you said there were 6.
There's 6.
That's the one that spoke up,
That's
or
the-
a few
that's-
of them speak up.
so one. That's the one that.
And they're all, are they being held against their will? I mean, that's the other thing too.
Well,
Like,
That's what no one knows yet.
That's
okay.
the question mark. So,
But how old was she when this meet and greet happened?
19, he said.
I'm not sure. I think she was 19 at the time. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm trying to think of like some like rock star when I was 19. If they were like, hey, I'll help you become a singer and you can live in my apartment, and like I'd be like, all right, like I'd probably still be there, you know, like.
Barbara Streisand or something.
I'm
Listen,
thinking the
Mike, we got a nice
Courtney
pool.
Love would be like, hey,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Come to my mansion. You can
Yeah,
live there.
just
And
let me have your cell phone, and
Yeah, I'd be like,
I'll
all right.
I'll log into Yahoo or Excite for you.
try this heroin for me every time before I shoot it.
Yeah, I'd probably still be there. I'd be living on their couch going, yeah, man, she's helping me out in my career.
Why is
Career's going-
Billy Corgan always coming over?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
get it.
What's up with that
So,
guy?
so he has this thing where he likes to be called daddy, and he likes them to call him, or he calls them babies. And so
Like, what's the source on this? This is what I don't understand.
this
There's so
is-
much information about this. Like, if there was something really wrong going on, it seems like the authorities would kick in the door and save these chicks, right?
our podcast is called Vomiting Rainbows. It's not like we're CNN over here.
I don't know.
Well, but
And we're getting it from BuzzFeed. By
what
the way.
I think
this is where they broke the story.
The crazy piece is that was he ever convicted? Like he wasn't he? Or they're all settling cases with 3 teenage people that he had sex with.
He settled so many cases that his attorney refused to comment.
But they did all settle.
They all settled.
Which in my mind basically means like he's guilty, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're not guilty of something that extreme, you're gonna fight it for the brand of yourself forever. Like you're clearly guilty. So he had sex with all these underage women. Like that's this insane travesty.
Well, and the other thing too is he was found with like he got 21 counts of child pornography and that rape video, but it wasn't until
what?
Yes. The child
glaze over that one.
I mentioned it before, but he had sex with a minor.
Oh well, yeah,
which is technically rape.
Yes, indeed.
And so he got. I think he went through the process, but he kept somehow not getting convicted, and eventually the charges were dropped.
Yeah, it's insane.
So there's a lot of smoke, but there's no. Technically fire. I mean, he's never been convicted of anything.
What's the outcome on this, Doug? Are you just going to leave us being bummed out and just feeling like horrible for these women? Like, is there? Is it some dad going to go crazy with like a sledgehammer?
Is R. Kelly still alive?
I mean,
he is still alive.
Is he in one piece? There's like 16 R. Kellys now spread across Ohio.
Why don't we just stair step who some of these women are? There's a 31-year-old woman. She's called the Den Mother. She's the one who trains newcomers on how R. Kelly likes to be pleasured. She also has been one of his best friends since high school, in which the girl from the videotape was tried. So he actually knows her and was part of that. She parties with R. Kelly all the time. So he has another girl is a 25-year-old who's been part of Kelly's scene for years. A recent arrival is a 19-year-old model. She's been photographed with R. Kelly publicly and named on music gossip sites. And this is a rarity because he usually doesn't allow these women out. At Atlanta, an Atlanta songwriter began her relationship in 2009 when she was 19 and she is now 26. And then an 18-year-old Polk County, Florida is his favorite number one girl right now, apparently, according to this source. 18. And then the women are apparently made to wear jogging suits around the house so no one can see their figures. And then they're made.
That's kind of weird, man. I mean, if I was going to have like a sex cult, I wouldn't have any clothes, like, right? It'd just be like, no.
Or at least yoga pants.
That's like rule number one.
Rule
make
one.
Me yoga pants if it's cold.
Right. And then apparently when male guests come to the house, he doesn't want them look like the girls to look at them, so they have to stare at the wall.
I mean, at what point does he still have real friends, quote unquote real friends, right? Like who are the people coming over? That's what I would like to know.
Well, apparently he films all of his sex acts with these women and then shows them to his inner circle.
That's weird,
dude.
Like, listen, I like both of you guys, but like, I don't want to see videos of you guys having sex.
Yeah,
like,
ditto.
Yeah, man.
I'm totally cool without ever seeing that.
Yep.
So yeah, anytime these women break any of these rules, he apparently punishes them physically. So I mean, it definitely sounds like. I mean, the law says that consenting adults they can take part with any non-traditional relationship that they want. But both of his places in Illinois and Georgia have they've done welfare checks on these women, and they've come up with nothing. And the women in most cases have told them that they're fine and don't want to be bothered.
It just seems kind of crazy. Like, I mean, like for me, if I'm R. Kelly and I'm into freaky stuff, like, it seems like a lot of effort for 6 chicks, right? I mean, couldn't you just go get prostitutes and stuff? I mean, and not have all this possible messy brainwashing criminal allegations. Like, if R. Kelly was going to Las Vegas every weekend and having an orgy with like 16 chicks, people would be like, R. Kelly's in town.
R. Kelly's being R. Kelly.
Yeah, but it would.
Why does he have to complicate it? Why does he have to make it so like weird?
But the other thing that I think is also kind of in the genre is, if it's R. Kelly and he is really doing something like this, and this is all about power, it has nothing to do with like the
It's
chicks.
some weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. one of his previous cult members recorded conversations of R. Kelly telling very similar things to her, telling her that she needed to get back, that she was going to be punished when she got back, all of these things in kind of very heated phone call.
Yeah.
And she turned that over to BuzzFeed, so you can listen to that on BuzzFeed.
Let's listen to it now, dude.
Yeah, wait, do you have that audio?
How do we
I don't know.
connect?
What computer is that? Hold on.
Here.
Or just the BuzzFeed link?
Here.
You know that song, Don't.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
You know that song, Don't Hold Back. My
What?
song. It kind of got like if you really hear it, it kind of got like got a little remix to the Half on a Baby a little bit. Did you notice that?
Oh, I felt that all the way.
Huh?
I noticed that all the way, all right off.
Okay.
Okay, so
what was that?
Here's another one.
Developing new songs are not an issue.
This is a collection of the world's most boring phone conversations between two people. Like,
Apparently this was the proof that she was she was trying to get him, or she was supposed to be getting a deal with like R. Kelly, and he was like, yeah, well, not all songs are going to be hits, and like I can't make you into something, all this.
you know
kind
what?
of stuff.
As hectic and as confusing as my life gets, I feel like I live such a simple life compared to this. Like,
Right.
I'm so glad I don't have phone conversations like that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe
I do. I'm
uninterested.
No one's recording them.
I don't get like, so it's an opt-in thing. It's incredibly sad, and it feels like on for certain some level, like you have these women being taken advantage of, but they are still opting in, and it doesn't sound like, and this is a bummer, but it doesn't sound like anything like truly illegal has maybe happened. But then if you can point that out, like you come after them, but it's just like so weird
It's like a
because
gray area.
it's such a gray area, and then
They're like
and then,
groupies, right? They're super fans.
exactly.
And so his attorney.
It's like if Glenn Danzig called me up right now and was like, hey, Mike, you can come down and be my roommate, but you got to leave your family behind, right? It would be like, all right, I'm
That's a
on my
great
way,
area.
I'm outta
Glenn.
here.
See you in 6 hours.
All right.
And then my wife would be calling like, dude,
Right.
we've married friends. You
Danzig.
got kids. I'd be like, yeah.
Sorry, it's Danzig.
Yeah, I know, but that's
Right.
before Glenn called me.
Right.
And she'd be like, something got to be wrong with him. But I'd be
Right.
like, no, man.
So his attorney released this thing that said basically, we can only wonder why folks persist in defaming such a great artist who loves his fans, works 24/7, takes care of all the people in his life. He's worked hard to become a great and the best person artist he can be. It's interesting that people are telling stories and tales that will be debunked in years to come. The goal is to stop violence, put down guns, embrace peace and love. And I suppose fame, like all of us, Kelly deserves a personal life, and he hopes that everyone will respect that.
No, they're not going to respect that.
No,
dude.
not at all.
No, he's not going to make
So
it.
superstar.
I'm guessing that we're going to hear more about this. So yeah, that's the Vomiting Rainbows episode 36. So you can find us on all social media on We Vomit Rainbows, and please rate and review us on iTunes and Google and Stitcher. That's it. Thank you for listening.